Hey ladies and germs, Deox Dex here, coming at you with Andrew again. This time he's profiling his Lair of Darkness deck with, with Strudo and crazy ways to bring out traps. So, without further ado, take it away, buddy.
Alright, so I'm sure you guys have seen plenty of these profiles in the last couple of days since this deck just did come out, so I won't waste your time with too much explanation here. This is, as Dylan said, the pure version, not the Infernoid version. I find the Infernoid version to be a little bit better power-wise, and it has a higher ceiling, but that deck is about as, if not more prone to bricking than this one, so you're sacrificing a little bit of consistency for it, but it's probably overall the better version. But this one's a little more budget friendly, of course. So monsters, your boss monster, 3 Darkest Diablos. Basically once per turn, if he's in hand or graveyard and you tribute one of your dark monsters, you can special summon him to the board. He can't be tributed, can't be targeted, so he's a hard boss monster for some decks to get over. And then his other effect is once per turn on your turn, you can tribute a dark monster. Keep in mind if you have Lair of Darkness, you can tribute your opponent's monster. And then your opponent picks a card from their hand to place on top or bottom of the deck. So that can actually be kind of useful sometimes for putting your opponent in a bit of a bind, especially in the grind game.
Let's also not forget he can't be kaiju'd, which is broken.
Yeah, that's really good. Next we have 3 Lilith. This is probably the card that's going to get blended into the most decks because of the fact that it can search basically any normal trap. So you can see this coming up in decks like Paleozoic Frogs, Chain Burn, just anything that plays a decent amount of normal traps can actually play this card, as long as they can sacrifice a normal summon.
Only downside is it's the hard ones per turn.
Yeah, she does come out as a 1,000 when she's normal summoned, but yeah, you just reveal 3 normal traps, and then your opponent randomly picks one to set to the field. So that does dodge Ash Blossom. That's an interesting thing to note with her as well. Next, the 3 Arima. You can discard this to add the Lair of Darkness if you don't have it already, or you can tribute him on the field or any other dark monster to either draw a card, or if you tribute a monster other than him, you can add 1 dark monster with 2,000 or more attack, which is basically going to be your Diablos. And then if you tribute a monster of your own other than Arima, you can then trigger your Diablos. You just add to hand to special him. So that's a neat little combo you can do with Arima. So Arima, very important for getting your Lair of Darkness and for triggering your Diablos. Next for the Strudo engine, 2 Armageddon Knight and the 1 Destrudo. This helps you make some interesting level 7 synchros. Dark Strike Fighter's one that blends pretty well with Diablo since it can tribute itself and is a dark monster. You can also make Black Rose Moonlight, Ancient Fairy to work with your field spells. So a lot of different things you can do with the Strudo engine.
Not even a super.
Unfortunately. Haven't pulled it yet from the Astral Pack. Then for other dark support, we have the 1 Tour Guide. Can summon out the Lilith, or it can summon out your 1 Scar, which at end phase can search Lilith when it goes to graveyard. And then the 1 Blackwing Steam the Cloak. This is a really interesting card for this deck. If it leaves the field, you get a free token. That's obviously a neat thing about it. And then if it's in the graveyard, you can tribute a monster you control to special summon it back to the field once per duel. So there's another thing that can trigger your Diablos as well. You're never going to use it for synchro summoning or anything like that. Just mostly for free monsters for link summoning and also to trigger your Diablos. So that's it for the dark monsters. And then I decided to play some hand traps today. The free Ash Blossoms and the free Ghost Ogre. They're just generally pretty good right now against most things. Ogre was pretty good against Pendulum Magicians today, which I faced a lot, so definitely can't complain about that. So that's the monster count. I believe it's 21 monsters. Spells we have for the field spells, 3 Lair of Darkness. Of course, as you all know, makes everything dark. Once per turn, if you would tribute for one of your own monster effects, you can tribute an opponent's monster instead. And then at end phase, the token summoning is mandatory to either summon to your side of the field or your opponent's side of the field, depending on who the turn player is, based on the amount of monsters tributed. So that can potentially help with link summon plays if the tokens stay on board. And then, since we played the Strudo, we also played a 1 Dragon Ravine with the 2 Terraforming. So you basically have either 8 copies of Lair of Darkness or 3 copies of Dragon Ravine if you need it. And then for 1-0 spells, 1 Foolish Burial to dump whatever you need. 1 Monster Gate, really good, especially with Lair of Darkness, because you can tribute your opponent's monster, and then it's just summon something for free. And then Monster Reborn, because, it's Monster Reborn. Traps. For the viruses, we play the 3 Full Force and the 1 Eradicator. The best viruses right now, in my opinion. The new one, the Gritting Greed one, whatever it's called, isn't that good, unfortunately. So we just play these. Again, they're searchable off of Lilith. This one's really, really busted against a lot of matchups. It's a good thing it's at 1 in the DCG, or else it'd be a little bit unfair with Lilith.
Oh, no doubt.
3 back to the front lets you recur your your important engine cards, your Liliths, your Arimas. Basically, get your Diablos continually cycling through those to keep your board presence. So back to the front's pretty important for the deck. And then finally, the free Torrential Tribute, just a generally good card against most things right now. This could potentially get replaced for Infinite Transients when we get that in a couple weeks, but it really just depends. That card, unfortunately, is a secret, so yeah, it'll be iffy on whether or not I can get a whole play set. So 40 card main deck, extra for level 7 synchros, 1 Ancient Fairy, 1 Black Rose, 1 Black Rose Moonlight, and then I'm proxying the Dark Strike Fighter. Pretty standard for this build, honestly. Those are the best level 7s to play. For the 1 rank 3, we are playing Break Sword. You can play Grand Pulse if you want to, but I just really only have room for the Break Sword.
Break Sword's better anyway.
Yeah. For 4s, the 1 Baguska and then the 1 Tornado Dragon. Because you do play some 4s. For links, we play 2 Link Spiders to get rid of our tokens when we need to go for link plays. The 1 Master King Archfiend, you can use any of your fiends to summon this, and it's just a nice 2000 meter. The 1 Proxy Dragon to help bridge into your bigger links like Warlord and Topologic. 1 Underclock Taker to make something bigger and make something of your opponent smaller. Penis joke, 1 Deco Talker, just a good link. Then link 4s Warlord and Topologic, because I do not own Skull Dread. This deck can actually make Skull Dread, a fair amount if you have the right setup. But yeah, I don't own that, so for now, just Warlord and Topologic. So side deck. Artifact Lancia, really good against a lot of matchups right now. Just anything that banishes, really. Good against the Infernoid deck, good against Jedi Knight FTK, because that's totally relevant. Good against Invoke, so yeah, just a good card. 3 Kaijus and 1 Slumber for going second. 2 Call by the Grave, just generally a good card. Can be really good against decks that have a lot of effects going off in the graveyard, or good against decks that are going to play a lot of hand traps. 2 Twin Twisters, just for generic back row removal. Dark Hole and Raigeki, again for going second. And finally, the 3-dimensional barrier, which is searchable off your free Lilith, so that makes your Pendulum and Invoke matchups kind of easy if you have a decent opening. So that is the deck profile. Thank you to Dylan for recording. Remember, guys, to like, comment, and subscribe to his channel. And that's all I got.
Thank you.